Tennocon is officially over. I have already released a video on the Tennocon art panel, so today it is Tennolive 2019. First off, the HD release of the new introduction cutscene has been shown and released. It features cutscenes heavily previewing the abilities of each of the starting Warframes, Mag, Excalibur, and Vault. Mag will be receiving either a rework or an augment that makes her ability act as seen in that introduction. Now, a new trailer was shown for the new war that features sentients leaving the large sentient we saw last year and in the art stream as they make their way to the plains of Eidolon. DE has said that the new war will be releasing holiday 2019. The lanky figure sentient at the end of the trailer is Nathar's brother, who is leading the strike against the system, and that the new war is family focused, as Nathar will have to choose between the family you're born with and the family you grow with, Tenno or sentient. Now, a new trailer for the Duviri Paradox, which is the plains of Duviri as we saw last year, will be the next open world for Warframe. The trailer features what could be Zariman 10-0, a grown-up operator, and just a bunch of very weird visuals. Steve casually dropped new information that all Arkwings will now have blink. If you watch the art panel, they showed off new Orbiter visuals. They've once again done that, but with an in-game playthrough. It currently only applies to the Arsenal. They also highlighted that it was running on a new renderer that Steve has been talking about for the past couple of months. During this segment, he also talked about how Empyrean will be focused on connection in the game rather than an island, as in leave the systems you used to until you're burnt out, i.e. open worlds. So Empyrean will be connected to the game space that we know. I'll play that clip now.
We wanted to do something different this year. I didn't want to say, Tennocon after Tennocon, here's another open world. We don't want this year to be talking about expansion. We want to be talking about connection. So if you think about what we do with open worlds, they are a classic expansion. It's like an island. And so we ship the island out, and we ask you to leave the other parts of the game and kind of come to the island for a while and ignore it. And Empyrean is the opposite of leaving the island. Empyrean is all about connection. The dev team here and the guys on the couch are a little bit anxious, and I'll tell you why. We're going to show you that Empyrean is, what better way to connect things is with a spaceship. So obviously, what we're going to do is we're going to show you the teaser that we did last year with Railjack, but we're going to show you how it connects to Warframe in a context and in a way that we haven't seen in a lot of games. So there is this kind of crazy ambition to it that we're going to do. And on top of that, we're also going to add even more risk to the equation and show you it running on the new Warframe engine, which I think is probably on Rebecca's PC right now. So, and this is like an upgrade to everything that we're doing. We're kind of getting close to this next generation of console cycles. And so you've seen teasers of this, so you can see that lighting and shadow, there's real-time shadows that we've been talking about that are kind of a bugaboo for me. The reflection system has been completely upgraded. Not only do you have these hard shadows from the sun, but Rebecca, if you move on there, you've got all these kind of diffused soft shadows that are moving, and if you go downstairs, you can kind of see, I think it was spoiled in the art panel, but you can kind of see how materials and new art and the structure of the game. Yeah, good, yeah. So I wanted to open with this just to get out of the way. And so when you're watching the demo, notice that the lighting and the shadows and the grounding of the action is more immersive and extremely interesting, and the art that our artists have created has further been elevated. And that's what we're talking about with Empyrean, is not to say, here's a new island, here's a new expansion, go there, and when you burn out on that, come back. What we're talking about is lifting the whole.
Now, Empyrean, there was 40 minutes of gameplay. A link to the full footage can be found in the description alongside the links to the aforementioned trailers, but let's get into it. First things first, they showed off the clan dry dock in the new renderer, and if you've forgotten already, this will be where we construct our ships, and the dry dock will be the place where we can modify, customize, and enter our ships. Each player will have their own unique ship that will launch from the dry dock, and each player can customize it with different colors, placing a glyph for identification as well as naming it. In the footage, Rebecca used the name SS Jojo, a Titania glyph, and showed off a bit more of the color customization. Now, players will also have the ability to improve their ship's weapons via a new upgrade system that won't be similar to the base game's 0 to 30 system. Instead, we'll be able to find and use resources and technology found throughout our Railjack travels to make improvements and upgrades. During the preview, they had to select a location in which to travel, and there were 7 options on the navigation screen. The Heliosphere, which was the focus of this demo, and within it had multiple start locations. Venus had also been shown, which was our initial preview to the Railjack system back in Tennocon 2018, Pluto, Neptune, Earth, and the Dry Dock. Whether this is a new star chart is unknown, but due to a number of planets missing, I am inclined that this is just for Railjack. Any technology or resources that you earn while you play in a squad can be used on your own ship. The weapon and defense system is modular, in that you will select and place in your battle modules, and they will be active alongside your weapon system and any tactical modules that you have selected. These can be swapped out and upgraded on the fly, and at the moment there seems to be no capacity limit outside of how many you slot in. Each Railjack will have an AI crew alongside any squad mates. You can buy, sell, and replace any of these AI characters on your ship, as each AI has unique specializations that will affect your Railjack. From what was shown, our new loading screens with Railjack will be void space travel, but we will be able to move around on our ship during that time. While they made their way to the mission marker, they showed collecting resources in the Heliosphere, while Megan and Danielle used the weapon systems and roamed around the ship levels. The first mission they showed off took place on a decayed void tower. Both Megan and Danielle could enter the tower, while Rebecca remained on board the Railjack with full functionality. The mission was for resource gathering, and upon Megan activating a console and receiving a module for the Railjack, they were attacked by Infested. While fighting the Infested, Rebecca on board the Railjack had activated one of her ship ability modules, Tactical Shock, and used it on the enemies within the tower. The ability itself had propelled the Infested within its area of effect in full crowd control fashion. While they were extracting, they were also attacked by a new Infested enemy who we saw within the art panel, and he is an upgraded Ancient. Now, en route to the next Railjack space, which was Earth, there was a giant Orokin space worm that had passed the Railjack in transition. This worm shared the same visuals as the one shown in the Duviri Paradox trailer. Now, after the mission showcase and while in transition to Earth, they revealed the Kingpin system that is now dubbed Kuva Liches. A Kuva Lich once killed will adapt to the Warframe ability that killed it and steal it, according to the comments made throughout the demo. Steve also said that the Kuva Liches are unique to you and will have a long-term relationship with us. The Lich King shown within the stream was unique to Rebecca, however, and it had died multiple times to her, and because of this, it had been upgraded to the point where it had its own capital ship with a defense squadron around it. In the process of taking down the Kuva Lich, Danielle and Megan had boarded a Grineer ship and hijacked it from within, which meant 2 ships were Tenno-controlled at this point and were within the same instance. The Railjack was boarded by enemies, and only Rebecca had been on the ship at this point. Using a gear item, Danielle was able to teleport back to the Railjack to offer support. Megan remained on board the Grineer ship and later left via Archwing after destroying the hijacked ship's engine from within. The Lich, once his defense squadrons were down, activated a disruptor field. At this point, they revealed Squad Link. For context, the disruptor field was activated on the Plains of Eidolon, which meant in order to take it down fast, Rebecca, Megan, and Danielle would need help from other players on the Plains of Eidolon. But keep in mind, they said it could be taken down without the squad link system, but it would mean less rewards and more time. A team on the Plains of Eidolon had been shown, and once they activated a squad link beacon, they could respond to any requests from clans, friends, and alliance members in space that needed assistance, which did link the 2 sessions together upon acceptance. In the demo, all they had to do was accept and take down the disruptor field generators using some bombs. While the ground team was taking out the generators, Danielle was extinguishing fires aboard the Railjack, so that is still a system. Once the disruptor field was destroyed, the ground team's objective was complete, which meant Megan, Rebecca, and Danielle could enter the capital ship. Aboard the capital ship, it was revealed that the Kuva Lich was a tech specialist, and that allowed him to redirect the ship's systems to defend himself. In order to take him down, Danielle and Megan returned to the Railjack and had to focus fire on the capital ship's generators. After the Railjack team took out the generators and Rebecca dealt enough damage to the Lich, it entered a small cutscene where Excalibur pulled out an Assassin's Creed-like hidden blade and executed the Lich. The Lich's unique information had also been displayed during this scene, showing that the Lich was created after being killed by Volt and had stolen Volt's shock, which made him immune to electricity-based attacks, and that the Lich was on his third evolution. During the fight, a Void Storm had hit the system and affected the team, which meant it disabled the ability for gear items. Rebecca tried to return to the Railjack by using her teleporter gear item, but it was disabled and she had to return via Arcwing before the ship was destroyed. And it was at this point after they had returned to the Railjack and left the system that the Duviri Paradox trailer had played. Going back to Squad Link, it will not only be for Kuva Liches, as DE explained throughout their website. Transcend beyond your solo objective and tap into a larger mission by reaching out to other squads of Tenno using the Squad Link. In multi-objective missions from space, players can call up active players on Fortuna or the plains of Eidolon, or vice versa, to help the bigger cause. Lower enemy shields, steal valuable data, and more as the new war looms. Lastly, to finish the recap up, the Warframes that we have previously seen now have names. The runner frame is called Gorse, and the larger frame is called Grendel. It should also be mentioned that during the gameplay segment for Empyrean and System Link, one of the abilities for Gorse was shown with him running across the water on the plains of Eidolon at increased speeds. I highly suggest you actually watch the gameplay because it really did change my mind about Railjack, but that might just be unique to me. Thanks for watching, see you guys next time.